Time to go for it. Hello.
Voices, to be honest.
Yeah, well, we are now live.
Oh, okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Dithering Fights. I am James, aka Scruff, and tonight, I believe we're going off to speak to some form of witchy lady off the back of our previous
Somewhat along those lines.
session.
You guys,
Yeah.
do you want to wave? You're on TV now.
Hello.
Hello.
I don't have a camera. My camera is currently used at capturing memory.
Ooh. Oh, yes, I have my separate face.
You have your separate face.
I do have a separate face.
You do have a separate face. So that's good. Does somebody want to do the refresher, the what we did?
The apology for missing last week.
Somebody can do that. I was thinking about just not doing it.
I think we should just crack the heck on.
If you missed us, we missed you.
As a really, really quick refresher, everyone realised that Mozu had potentially passed on to the next life, although there's still a little bit of a question mark around it. And the group learnt from the village that they had some form of agreement with a witch, and they decided to go and visit that witch, and that's pretty much it from the last session.
Pretty much. Does anybody want to add to that?
I think Navi made a good connection to the trial.
No, Niveas are old.
Nygenna,
Nygenna.
sorry. Nygenna made a good connection to the trial. Hopefully gain the trust. We'll have to wait and see in game.
Yeah, the head of the lizard folk's been taken, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has.
And Lucian has gone along.
Lucian.
The lady mellor.
I think he went by his own volition, to be fair.
Yeah, I think Lucian volunteered to go, didn't
Is she
he?
a witch?
Yeah.
The lizard folk have referred to her as a witch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the witch. Yeah, so be interested to go on this campfire.
Well, I was waiting for the next morning, won't we? Because we said they might be able to spare some food and things for our travels.
Yes.
Indeed, you were.
There was a certain someone who was a little bit against that.
Yeah, did he go moping off in the woods as normal?
He did.
He did.
First time that some of our regulars, I say some of because we have regulars now. Some of our regulars, it's the first time that they've seen faces of the extra free players. So do you just want to go, starting with Lost? Do you want to say hi?
Hello, I'm Connor. I play Lost. Hello, I'm David, and I play nygenna.
Hi, I'm Sarah and I play leana.
Sarah, can you take my top off, please?
I ain't got another top down here.
You're going to have to get one because it's just occurred to me
You know what?
you've got my work top
No,
on.
I think
that
I know
might
where
be
my
frowned upon.
caddy is. I think I've left it in the garden. I'll be back in a minute.
And hello, I'm James, and I play Skattles. Used to play Mozu until the deadening.
The deadening. Yep.
The deadening.
So as a wider sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Summary of what happened in these guys. So they started off in a knoll cave, and they've moved from the knoll cave with an elf named Lucian, who promised them to take them into the secret parts of the world where they could learn things that have been long forgotten. And that took them at first into these ancient standing stones, which when they got there turned out to be huge statues of angelic beings, underneath which they found a temple, which was discovered to be a temple of the dark god Satan. And after spending some time in there and fighting some of the ghouls that were about, they found a book. The book turns out to be the teachings of Satan, according to this cult that long ago built the temple. Returning to a local village run by lizard folk, they agreed to help find some lost hunters, and found that these hunters had been killed by some sort of traveller, a dragonborn, who was in no mood for talking when you all found him, particularly because you were rummaging through his stuff when he found you. So, yeah, you guys did him in, like the good guys you are, with no motive.
He was holding my friend hostage.
He was, that's right.
Whoever would you approach him?
But you found in his personal effects afterwards that he had a deck of cards, which Leana believes to be a deck of many things. She's currently carrying this deck. Now, as mentioned, when returning to the village, they found that it had been attacked by some sort of undead, ghoulish lizard folk, and nygenna discovered that the people, the lizards living in this village, this Axian tribe, they have some sort of arrangement with a witch who lives in some ruins to the north. She keeps the village hidden, and in return, the Axian tribe, the lizard folks, they send their dead to her, and she apparently brings them back to life somehow. Now, for reasons that the party haven't quite discovered yet, the last time that the witch had sent her people, they attacked the village, and they've taken one of their leaders, Skattles, and Lucian, who apparently went quite voluntarily. And the party have agreed to go and to try and find Lucian, to meet this witch, and to hopefully, I think you agreed as well, didn't you, to prevent any further attacks? Is that right? Yeah. Any further attacks on the Axian tribe. So you guys are waking the next morning, and it depends on what time you guys want to wake. It's really up to you. You talked about spending the night and then getting ready to set off in the morning once you had some supplies from the village. So, just for the sake of brevity and to move things along a little bit, we're going to say that by the time you wake, there are 4 packs waiting for you outside of the hut that you've been staying in, that have enough food to last for 10 days for each of you. What would you like to do?
Skattles stays asleep until literally the last person gets up.
I will wake up. Look around. See if anybody else is starting to go around.
Okay. So what about Lost? Lost went off into the woods.
Yeah, I was going to ask you to make it back this time.
So yeah, I think we did your thing, didn't we?
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah. So by the time, I think what we'd said is by the time that you came back to the village, you'd crashed and gone unconscious and spent the night out in the woods, and you return feeling a bit stiff and a bit cold, but otherwise unharmed. You return about the time that the rest of the party is waking up. What about Leana? What are you up to? Were you waking?
Yeah, she should be awake because she was trancing for 4 hours and then.
Okay, are you looking for anything in particular, or are you just wasting time?
Yeah, she just sort of started looking about.
Okay. Okay, so you will no doubt then see it's 3 villagers that bring the 4 packs, which are made of some sort of animal skin. These packs, with one strap that would fit over the shoulder, and it's mostly dried breads. There's also some fruit in there and some smoked meat. There's no water. So you would see those. Otherwise, nygenna, by the time you wake, Leanna's already awake and moving around.
Well, they've left us some supplies.
Yes, maybe when everyone's here, we can go to the lady and find her and then some of the
Yeah.
maybe we should go and see his lost and his return. Maybe. Lost in the house with us, or is he in the village somewhere?
So you haven't come across Lost yet. He's not in the room as you wake. So the hut is one room.
Is Skittles next to it? Skattles, right?
Yeah, Skattles is curled up in a ball,
Taste the rainbow.
tasting the rainbow.
That's the reason why I changed the name.
I'll just give him a little like shove with my foot.
Okay.
See if he wakes up.
Morning. How are you?
Very good, very good. So we've got rations. They give us rations.
And in individual bags.
Yeah, you've got 4 bags. And between the 4, it's not the same thing in every bag, but between the 4 bags, you've got enough for 10 days, 4 people.
We're going to look for Lost, and we're going to say thank you to the people that have provided us with these rations. You fancy coming along, Skattles?
Yeah, sure. You know I haven't got any plans, so yeah, why not?
So we'll head out to build.
Okay, so as you get outside, the day is the sun's shining, but it's not super bright. It's a little bit overcast. The air feels damp, and as you guys exit the hut, off to your right, where the entrance to the village is, this sort of open palisade gate that they've got, you can see Lost approaching. His hair's a bit all over the place. He's got like leaves and things hanging off his clothes.
So quite a typical appearance after he's been wandering about in the woods.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, I hope you're coming to apologise for what was happened and what was said.
I'll apologise if she's at fault, but so far we don't know if she's in the right or wrong.
Well, she's been kind enough to give us rations for our travels.
She might also be in the fact of a necromancer. Who knows who she's been aiding by offering her this horde of dead bodies year after year.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence myself.
Do we even know why she's giving him the dead bodies? What's the agreement that they have? What did the wizard folk get?
She was very sketchy for the part. I did ask her several times, but she was very sketchy on saying why.
It doesn't seem like much of a deal if she's going to send the dead lizard folk back to attack the village.
Yeah, well, apparently they're meant to come back and attack the village. I did say to her it must be a test of something to make sure that the agreement still stays. This is why they attacked. But she said no, it must have just been a mistake. But she would not tell us anything about what the agreement was.
Well, I think we should find this witch and find out what her true motive is.
Well, that's if she is a witch. We'll see when we find her.
Sure.
But right now we'll say thank you to the kind lady and we'll start making travels. Are you in any shape or form to travel? Are you fatigued or anything?
Oh, yeah, so.
Okay.
Other than a rough night, you're mechanically okay.
Does he feel okay though?
And when he says that, I'm gonna
He feels rough as hell. He spent the night in the woods.
And when I say like is your fatigue and that everything alright, I'll just rough his hair to get all the leaves out of it.
Okay.
Maybe that was camouflage.
So we will go and see the palisade. Is she at the palisade?
Should not. There's nobody around. Now you guys have been here for I think 3 or 4 days now, on and off. This is odd. That there's nobody around is odd.
Oh, they said they were going to go back to look for the bodies that we found.
Yes, they did. But we did tell them, yeah. What was the action?
He said that she was going to go and try and find it.
If this really is an unusual circumstance for them, then maybe they're just hiding. Should probably just make haste and find out what's going on. Not to mention catch up with more good.
And we should find Lucian as well.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
The
yeah.
reason we was originally here.
Oh, Lucian.
That elf that was following about.
Ah, yes, that's no good. Scoundrel thing.
Well, we don't know if it was no good.
Yes. Maybe he is working for this
Yeah, you guys can definitely be walking and talking. So you guys, the map that we can see on screen, I'll just get rid of the character sheet. The map that we can see on screen is the map that you guys have. And you was told that the village is not shown on the map intentionally, and that it's somewhere around here. You'd have to travel 2 days through the forest, which does open up, and then eventually to the ruins in the north, where she keeps herself, where she has her lair, her home. So who is going to lead the way? Yeah?
Yeah, I'll be not far behind, just checking the sun, making sure we're going in the right direction.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, alright nygenna, if you want to make the survival check with advantage.
I'm following them.
You're just following them. Skattles, what are you up to?
Yeah, same sort of.
Following them, sort of looking around.
Hangs out the back, yeah, just tries to keep an eye out on things.
Okay. Let me just find my chat so we can actually see it. Oh yeah, there it is. A 9. Oh, always good. Okay, so you get your 9 on survival between the two of you. Yeah, so if you guys are walking and talking, feel free to roll plus and more. What you will find is that there's no path north of here. Now, when I took the survival check, that is just literally for heading north in the general direction that you guys have been given. If you want to actually try and track the people that you're following, that's different.
Okay. Can I roll my 2d20s to start a new day?
Please do.
Oh, there. I've got both.
Yeah, I've got both. Oh, not bad. Not bad.
19 and 5.
So is there any evidence that it passed through?
So let's have a perception check to see what you can see. Let's see what you can see.
A lot.
Apparently not a lot, no. So the forest. Now, bear in mind that you are you're at least 12 hours behind them, possibly and almost definitely more. It is difficult to see anything that would suggest. I think you was told it was a group of 6, 4 of these strange lizard folk, and then 2 individuals that you're pursuing, plus a Mozu. Yeah, so Lucian being one of the 2. Lucian went voluntarily, Gadtol was taken, and Mozu was rightfully Lady Mellor's, that's what you was told. Yeah, you don't see any evidence that there's been such a relatively large group travelling through the woods.
Best thing we can do then is just hopefully keep to our bearings and check on marks.
Okay.
Seems like a good idea. I'll keep my eye on the trees.
Do we see the peaks of these hills or mountains? Do we see them?
So every now and then, when the canopy of the forest above clears, you can see a mountain off in the distance. But obviously from the map you've got a mountain here, and then you've got a mountain here. Now, Lost was looking at the sun, and although you don't have an accurate means of measuring time, it's fairly obvious that at the moment you appear to be travelling in the correct direction. At least. That is to say that the mountain that you do see every now and then is ahead of you, which would be accurate. If it was behind you, you'd be travelling south. So to begin with, you appear to be going the right direction. And you do so until you guys need to settle down for a short rest. So, how long are you guys walking before you decide to take a rest? After 4 hours, you would be, reasonably tired. After 6 hours, you would be very tired, and after 8 hours, you would be risking exhaustion if you continued.
Up 5.5.
How about 7.5?
Smart.
5.5 hours.
5 hours, 20 minutes, 30 seconds, not a minute more.
You know it. That's what we need.
Okay, so there's.
As soon as it gets to 1700 o'clock, we're done.
Alright,
Once it becomes uncomfortable, then we'll rest. But I think we're trying to
Uncomfortable? You've been sleeping in the woods, how are you been finding that uncomfortable?
I think you've got a different uncomfortable to us.
I think the bed is uncomfortable to you, isn't it?
all of it.
okay, so when you guys decide to take your first rest, stop, have a little bit of the food that you've got, I imagine, some water that you have all got water, but you don't have enough water for 4 days travel. Just chucking that out there.
I'll weave my water skin.
I mean, it's still full of water right now.
Not yet.
You're just messing up the water you've already got. What's
Yeah.
going on?
Topping it up, alright.
Drinks a bit, it's topping it up.
Yeah, I've diluted it, so good carefully.
They'll get used to it gradually, like,
Yeah.
off the mountains.
The snow.
No, they're not. You will have seen these mountains before. You wouldn't, because you can't remember anything.
And he's sandy.
They're not sandy as such. They're just very rocky. The trees continue up the mountain some distance, but because you're so far away, you don't see that. You just literally see the peaks, which aren't snow-capped, but they are close to the clouds. So by the time that you guys stop and decide to have a little something to eat, it's sort of mid-afternoon. So far, you've not seen anything out of the ordinary. You've not seen any tracks, anything that would suggest pathways. You've not seen too many creatures, are there? You see birds fly around, bugs buzz here and there, but you've not seen any of the larger. Now, if you remember, this part of the woods is considered not sacred, but almost like a nature reserve, because that's where the owlbears live. And you've not seen any evidence of owlbears. Still very much in their territory as far as you can gather, yeah.
Told whose territory she resides.
No, you didn't ask that question, and it wasn't offered. Though for anybody else who does have a memory, large swaths of Cabranth are not under the claim of any of the ruling factions. The particular location where you guys are heading now into the foothills is known as the Talarian Plains, and there isn't a lot there. There was a very short-lived tribe, Talarian, that was human, that set out there under the lead of somebody who apparently had the name Talarian. But nobody owns this particular area. The settlement in question has been abandoned for a very long time.
Be right back.
Dookie.
He's wandered up to use the literary.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, do you guys want to do anything whilst you stop for your break, or are you just going to get some scran, have a drink?
The other thing I can think of is just checking over our shoulders to make sure we're not going to be ambushed. But by the sounds of it, there's little chance of that happening.
You can make a perception check. Have a walk around the outskirts as other people begin to rest and see what you see. Okay, so the good news is that you don't see anything, and that's not because you don't see anything. You see with your keen mind, you notice that there is a lack of evidence of people. So you're definitely not being tracked. You, however, don't pick up on any tracks or anything that would suggest that your quarry has travelled in this particular direction. he's not within, let's say, 500 meters away or clearing it. You want to do anything else whilst you stop?
Just say we're looking up. Do you know the range of divine sense?
30 feet.
I don't know that the last time we looked.
That's a good question. Let's have a look. If you didn't, you can do it now whilst we're sort of going ahead. So, no, you still have 5. You should be a 6. So feel free to go ahead and do that whilst we're doing it now.
No doubt.
I get an aura.
Go down.
Yeah, that's no problem. I can whip them out if you need them. Whilst we wait for James and Dave to do his character sheet, James to finish using the literature.
I'm back.
He's back. I'm just going to thank a couple of our friends. The first of which is Forgotten Adventures, who they do all of the artwork that we use for the battle maps, and it's really cool stuff. So go to forgotten-adventures.net to see what they've got. They got a ton of stuff that's free, and it's definitely worth taking a look. And this they don't sponsor this, just for the record. And also, all of the music that we'll be using, not including the ambience, comes from Kevin MacLeod. So Google Kevin MacLeod music for a massive library of loads of music that's available on Creative Commons, which is cool.
Absolute legend.
He is a bit of a legend. I don't know how many years he's been doing it, but there is thousands of songs available. So yeah, take a look at those.
I was waiting. I'm gonna have a slice of pizza.
But it can't be charmed off right.
He's got pizza. We're trying to lose weight and you ain't pizza. Okay, so you guys heading off again, or are you sticking around? You got more to do?
No. We pack up everything that we had and make travel to them.
Okay, no problem. So, you rest for, entirely up to you guys how long you rest. Traditionally, you probably wait about an hour before have a little rest and then get on again. So who's leading the way again? Is it nygenna again with the help of Wasp, or somebody else taking it down?
If she takes the lead, too.
Yep, okay, so let's have another survival check to see how well you... Yeah, with advantage.
Ooh.
21, nice. Okay, so you get walking for about 5-10 minutes, and the canopy of the forest, it just breaks. And you've been used to sort of a tree maybe every 10 feet. Big fat tree, huge trunk on it with these huge tops of it, that just massive branches, and you can't see much. Now you can see a lot. And as you look out, the first thing you notice is that you've got one mountain off to your right hand side, which using the sun to get your current location, estimating the time, you accurately say is the west. You've got another mountain which is sort of almost in front of you, and you figure that's the east. So you've spent half of the day travelling slightly askew to where you should have been. So you guys started down here, and the best route would have been to just sort of head straight for this direction, and what you've actually done is you've head closer to the mountain. So working that out, you correct your path, but you figure you've added on maybe half a day to your overall journey time. So you're not going to arrive there in 4 days straight like you expected, unless you make up that time. Having said that, you do make good time now. You know where you're going. The forest is a lot clearer. The trees are smaller, further apart. There's not as much underbrush to deal with. And you do start to see something that is fresh, almost, different. And that is the creatures and the animals you've come across. So whilst you're wandering around, you've mostly seen birds, insects, the odd sort of small game running around the forest. However, when you're walking in this area that's a lot wider up, and you see this beast in the distance grazing, it's currently, you're not sure if it's aware of you or not, and you're the first one to see this, nygenna. And this beast has these large horns that sort of come out in jagged sides, jagged angles each side, and rise, including the height of the creature. So its head is roughly about 4 foot off the ground, with its huge hulking shoulders. It's four-legged, this creature. Its huge shoulders reach high above the head, and there's lots of fur on it that sort of hangs down low, and then these huge horns which come off at jagged, like lightning bolts coming out of the head. And all in all, the creature probably stands about 10 or 11 feet tall. It's really, really big, and as you sort of approach, you're not getting close to the creature, you're almost walking parallel to it. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can do that. I'm happy with that. It's some sort of four-legged beast. You can try an animal handling as well and see if you understand. I'll allow animal handling or history, whichever you're stronger at. They're both terrible.
Does he have a history? It's lost. He doesn't remember anything.
A 12. Okay, yeah. So no, you've seen this before. You've seen these kind of things. This appears to be a wild version of what you've seen before, but this is an uruk. This is a type of beast of burden that many civilizations will tame to use just as part of agriculture, also a source of meat and milk. The fur can also be used for a large amount of things. No, they're very docile. But if angered, they're really fucking strong, and they will charge. You at the moment have only seen one. That's strange. They're a herd animal.
I know what that is.
Okay.
Can we wrangle it and maybe ride it?
Well, I mean, it's been known to. I don't know how hard it would be to take a wild one.
As soon as he says that, I get my hand rope and I tie a loop in it.
Okay. So this uruk is about 700 or 800 meters away. Well, I'm gonna go. You know what? Let's go to feet. It's about 1,300 feet away from you, so it's quite far.
That's cool. Is there any like grass or stuff around here?
Yeah, the grass is quite long around here. It is summer, so
pull some of that up and carry it with me.
some of the grass. Okay, you grab some grass, and you walk towards this 2.5 ton, 10 foot tall beast.
Yep. And when I get to about 15 feet close to it.
15.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna like loop the rope like on the floor and place the grass in the middle of it.
So you're going to take grass from a field of grass and put it into an obvious trap.
Yes. Well, hopefully he doesn't know this.
Alright. Animal handling check. Let's see how close you get.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
You've got a backup, right?
When you want to.
Oh, okay.
He's going on a tangent. It's not on the way. Oh
Will
my
that do?
god!
Will that do?
Right. So as you're approaching the beast, you sort of, as you get closer, now at this point you're about 100 feet away from it, and it's seeing you now, and you can snort in, you can see its big face. It's very sort of muscular, but also quite flabby. You know, it's like got these wrinkles that sort of pull down over its face where the horns protrude out.
I don't like some sort of like whistling like to calm sort of thing.
Okay, so you start the whistling, and it sees you approaching, and you've got this grass in one hand and hemp rope in the other. And as you get close, about 15 feet, it sort of stands, not aggressively, you interpret, more of defensively, looking at you. It's stood, its horns are still up, its horns aren't down, but it's stood staring directly at you. And as you make the loop and put the grass down, it sort of looks at it and then it looks back at you, and it's not done anything. What do you want to do?
Try and call it over.
That's the other type of...
Yeah.
Actually, I'm not quite sure. What did you go for?
You would know.
Path of the Berserker. No, we can't talk to animals.
Yes.
Wait.
You're on your
What's your call? How are you calling it? A whistle. Okay.
Yeah, like,
Okay.
like, come on, Bessie, come on. Yeah, Bessie.
I'm going to go off your previous roll, because that's what I would normally do in a situation. It starts to walk towards you.
Yes.
And as it does, as it starts to walk towards you, you hear ding, 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 ding. You hear a dinging sound, and you notice that around its neck, on a piece of string, is a bell. And it starts to walk, and it gets closer. It sniffs your hands. It sniffs the rope. The loop you've made is nowhere near big enough. This thing's neck is about 6 feet around.
Ah, shit.
It towers you, and you're tall. You know, it's up there. It's huge.
I'll just, like, strut my hand down his hand.
It gives a sort of shake, and then moves slightly, and it seems as though it's directing your hand to where it likes to be stroked, which is sort of top and to its hind legs. After a few moments of this, it turns around, looks you in sort of the face. Its head, which is huge, maybe about 3 feet across, is head height with you. You actually have to look up a little bit to see its head. It sort of looks at you, and then it just stands waiting. It's waiting for something.
I will feed it the grass of what grass it's been eating.
It takes the grass.
And I'm
Gives
going
it a
to
sniff,
shout.
but
I'm
takes
going
the
to
grass.
shout to these and go, I think we've made friends with it. Someone jump on it quickly while I've got the grass on it.
They didn't go with you.
I'm just looking around like.
What happens next?
How tall is this?
It's about 10 feet tall. Its shoulders are higher than its back.
Can I climb on it and do it? Yeah.
You can certainly try. So I want you to make an animal handling check as you attempt to climb on the giant rock with the bell around its neck.
Come on.
Oh, shit, man.
9?
Yeah, no.
Okay, right. Sorry, I got confused then. Okay, so you grab a hold of its spear, and then you can't reach the top, so you have to grab another handful of fare and sort of pull. And as you pull, it pulls away. On a tiny movement to the Uruk just flings you right the way over. So I need you to make an athletics check to see. Sorry, acrobatics check to see if you can avoid harm here. Not quite a saving throw. Yep, that's the one.
Here lies nygenna. Nice.
Okay, so as it flips you up, you manage to put your other arm to the other side, grab a hold of it, and land on its back.
Yes.
And you sat on its back, and it sort of gives you a and shakes its body a little bit, and you manage to hold on, and then it just stays still. What do you want to do?
I'm going to draw my sword.
Okay.
I'm going to try and cut the rope where the bells are attached.
Okay, right. Yeah, that's easily done. No roll required. You just move your sword through the rope and cut the rope. The bell drops to the floor.
I'm going to gently nudge each side of it under the ribs to see if it walks in the way I want it to.
And it starts walking very slowly, but it starts walking.
That's the coolest thing ever.
What are these?
Okay, so make an animal handling check to see if you can direct it. Can't believe somebody that is not proficient in animal handling.
Okay, can I talk to
Can I
it?
talk to it?
And then the day are bearing the stuff no animals, these men describe it.
So it seems to know more commands, but you don't know what they are. And as you sort of try and direct it using your feet, your hands, you get the feeling that things are kind of happening that you're not choosing. for example, it starts to speed up, then it stops. So you spend about 20 minutes sat on the back of this massive Uruk, moving around this field, about nearly 12, 1,300 feet away from the rest of your friends, who are just sort of stood in awe, looking as you climb on a random beast you've found in a field. But eventually, you do get there, and you manage to direct it back to the rest of the party. The Uruk approaches quite confidently. It doesn't seem intimidated by the other members. But you are with the rest of the group now.
Yeah, I'm going to look towards one. What we're supposed to do with it?
Well,
Uh,
we don't need the meat so we can't feed it. And I have to go down.
no, why would you do that?
Did we see him, basically cut the bell off?
He cut the bell off, yeah. You guys don't see the bell now, and it's too far away really to make out what happened there.
Right.
I'm gonna put my hand out, hoping I could like pet him in some way.
It takes a sniff of your hand. It seems quite interested in you and sort of lets its massive tongue out, which is about 12 inches long, and it sort of wraps around your fingers a little bit.
I'm not gonna say it.
I'm going to look towards nygenna. Up on this big thing. Now what do you think we're going to do?
How's its breath?
We will ride this into the sunset where we need to be.
I've got no idea what a cow's breath would smell like. It smells like grass.
Smells like beef.
I'm not sure I want to ride it.
Well, it will cut the time. It can travel pretty damn fast in a week.
Show me. Tell me how fast it can go.
So it does travel, what you've seen moving it closer to you guys, it travels about the same pace as humanoids walking. However, this thing is just all muscle. It's probably got a huge amount of stamina.
I'm gonna climb on if I can.
I'll have
a problem.
It seems a lot calmer than when nygenna tried to climb onto it. And as you climb on, it just stands and waits. It's no problem at all.
Throw my hand down to one of them, see if they want to grab on.
Well, you can see a lot more from here.
If not, I'll just try and grab Lost by his foot or something and just try and pull him up and put him on it.
Okay. Do you resist?
I do. I'm just going to carry on walking.
Okay, so make a strength check. Yeah, each of you, yeah. Not that one, Dave. You want to be making an athletics check, and Lost wants to be making a strength saving throw. I did say that, sorry.
Athletics.
Yeah.
Athletics. It's the same for you.
Oh
my god. What a shame.
So
you
close.
Kick and you scream, but you're getting on the beast. It grabs you and pulls you up and then sits you in front of him.
Connor, you used your good roll for the night.
Yeah, it was your one good roll. Now look what you've done.
I'll kill the creature. I'm not talking to you all.
What about leana? You getting on the Uruk?
It's a lot bigger than her. How's she going to get up there?
Well, the others have just grabbed hold of its fare and climbed up.
I just grab her as well.
Do you resist?
Skattles
no
will
roll
give
required.
her a hand as well.
Now what?
No roll required.
Oh, right.
She doesn't resist. So, you between you and Skattles, you pull her up and sit her between you two.
There's plenty of space for us to sit on it.
Yeah, this thing's huge. Sort of, its shoulders are higher than its head, but from shoulders to tail, it's about 16 feet long. It's really, really big.
Think of like Cat Bus from Totoro.
Yeah, think of cat bus, but instead of getting in it, you're getting on it. Okay, nygenna.
Awesome.
Either you or Lost. Lost is at the front, but you are better positioned to direct this thing. Why don't you try and direct it in the direction you need to go? Make an animal handling check.
Can I just check that we are going in the right direction?
Yeah, you can make a survival check and double check your location. You seem to be getting a feel now for what this is sort of being told to do. Actually, 19's pretty high, so what I will say is, not only do you now sort of understand the commands it's being taught, you understand that this isn't wild. This almost definitely belonged to somebody, and it was most likely trained to pull a cart rather than to be ridden on, or perhaps a plough or some other sort of heavy equipment.
You've just stolen it.
Nevertheless, I'm going to say that from the success that you've had here with these rolls, no further rolls would be required to give it basic commands. 22. Yeah, you are going in the right direction. Every now and then, the Uruk decides that it's going to go a bit slower, sometimes even stop, so that it can grab something to eat, just pull up some. I mean, you're still technically you are in the forest, and it's just much more sparse than it was. So every now and then it grabs some grass, or it'll pull up a fern and eat that. You notice as well that it doesn't give way for smaller saplings, instead it just pushes them out the way. Cool. On the back of the creature, you make good time, and by the time night has fallen, it showed no signs of slowing. So it's up to you guys. Do you want to stop for the night, or do you want to press on?
We sleep one at a time. Like one leans on someone's back like that while we're asleep, and then like that. Yeah.
You could certainly try.
Honestly, Dave, you make nat 20s at the most opportune moments. I swear.
You really do, and then you roll freeze when you're in combat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, man.
But yeah, if you want to try sleeping on it, you can do it. Who's going to try sleeping on it first?
Whose little lot was on?
100% I would.
Yeah, tell Skittles. Skattles. I start stroking Skattles like a cat to see if he goes to sleep.
Skattles does the thing where he sort of walks like a dog, sort of walks in a circle for a couple of minutes, and then gets comfortable.
Yeah, it's quite easy. So the rest of you are awake. It's a very clear night. There's no clouds, so it is getting quite chilly. You can see the stars above. You can see the moon's very bright. So this is an opportunity for you guys to roleplay if you'd like to.
Yeah, I'm going to say, what if we all fall asleep? Like, we all get too tired and fall asleep. It could take us anywhere. Or we could all fall off in different places.
This is why we take it in turns.
Yeah, but what if we all get too tired and fall asleep?
Or what if we get ambushed? Someone's asleep, someone's awake, and someone's off.
Well, this beast is very high. We'll have to chop this down before they get to us.
Well, it's made of meat. It's not roast at all.
It's very mostly. It'll take a few attempts.
It's probably,
And I'm sure you'll
probably rear up and we would fall off.
Then we'll wake up. You wake up.
And then we'll run away. Maybe we should just make camp.
And we could be air if it throws us off or we fall off.
No, there's nothing to worry about.
Shall we make camp?
I feel safer sleeping on the floor.
I dismount the creature.
Yeah, no problem. It doesn't stop. It keeps trotting along. And as you walk next to it, it's walking at quite a slow pace actually, and it's very easy to keep up, even at the end of the long day.
Skattles is going to say to nygenna,
Hey, do you know what this thing eats? Is it mostly like grass and other vegetation?
So Skattles is going to look for something a little bit more, I don't know, filling than grass in the area to see if he can find anything nicer for the creature.
Okay. Let's have I'm going to say a nature check.
I'm going to
I'm good at those. I didn't mean to do that.
That's all right.
But I got that 20 on the first one.
You've got a -2 on nature. So, as nygenna stops the beast, and you jump down and take a look around, you find this bush with these red berries on. Sort of take them in your hand, give them a squeeze, and smell them, taste them. They're quite sweet, but they don't appear to be poison. It looks like these are quite safe. Maybe you'd enjoy them.
He'll take it over and put his hand out flat so he can take the berries.
It takes the berries from you. It seems quite pleased with them. And once it's sort of had a taste from it, has a sniff in the air, and then it goes across to where the bush is and just starts to pull them off the bush in huge amounts.
I think I found what he likes.
So everyone except leana is still on the. Has got off. Leana's still on.
Yeah, Leanna's getting off.
You're getting off as well. So you guys making camp here, and it's quite late in
What
the
does it
evening.
look like around the area we're in?
So the forest is all but thinned now. You guys trotted on for quite a bit longer, and it's more fields than it is forest now. Where the area where you've stopped, there is a collection of trees close by. There's a couple of outcrops of rocks. Nothing major. It seems okay, but yeah, I mean you're gonna have to take a good look around and investigate the area if you want to know whether or not this is a safe place.
Is there anywhere we can hide this?
No. You could put it near the trees and the silhouette would be sort of interrupted, but no, this thing stands out here big time.
Well, maybe that will take away our presence. How do we even know it's not going to wander off though during the night?
Died to a 3. What if it wants to play? I wouldn't bet that rock can hold it.
You know what? Like, it only walks as fast as we do. If it wants to go its separate ways, then it does. You know, nature does its thing, right?
That's right. We'll see by morning.
Yeah. I mean, we'll sure know if he's up or he's gone. We don't even know if it's a he. Have we looked for a penis?
You have not looked for a penis. Make a penis identification roll.
Do you know what one is?
You found one. Oh wait, that's an udder.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to check to see what sex this creature is.
Okay, make a perception check.
Oh, is that bad one?
It might be. It's got to find some at first. Okay. You have found what appear to be genitals. I'm going to need an animal handling check so you can understand what kind of genitals they are. So 17. This is a female. This is a cow.
Hey, this is a lady. I can see her teats.
Connor looks really disappointed in tonight's session. Man, we used to kill gnolls.
Leanna's going to tense a lot. Do you think it's a safe space to stay for the night?
Sure, I think the largest creature around will be that. And to be honest, if anything spooked it and it ran away, I've got enough alarm.
Are we keeping one watch every so often?
I'll be wise, otherwise.
I'll take first watch.
So you guys need to cover, to get your full benefits of the rest, you need to cover 8 hours. So, who's going to take the first watch and for how long?
I'll do a watch for like, I don't know, 3 hours?
3 hours? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're going to take the second watch, how long for?
I'll do.
4 hours and then stop you wait.
Okay.
Or like I'll take the last watch.
Okay. So that covers plenty. So Lost, you don't actually need to take a watch. You could.
I was gonna wake up to Leanna was still here and be like, oh, I'm going back to sleep if they need me, here I am.
Okay, so let's start with Skattles. Can you make a perception check for your watch, please?
Sure.
You're taking yours in the earlier part of the night, so it's sort of before 10 p.m.
Oh, that's good then.
The moon's bright, so that's your first good thing. But it is still dim light, so this is with disadvantage, so I'm going to need another roll.
Yes, I was.
I do have that vision.
You do have dark vision, but it's still dim light.
Ooh. I mean, come on.
Dear.
Come on.
No,
That's
sorry.
like the third nat 20 I've rolled in the last, 4 rolls.
That's roll 25. So we're going to take the 8. So let's find that. It's reasonably quiet, apart from the really loud crickets that I forgot to turn down. It's reasonably quiet. About an hour into your watch, the Uruk, which is quietly grazing not too far from you guys, sort of lifts its head and gives a sort of snort in the air. And you can hear something just maybe 60, 70 feet away from the Uruk, sort of scuttling throughout the grass, which the grass is quite long here, it's about 1.5 feet high.
Can I go quickly?
Yeah. This goes on
Check it out.
for just a few seconds and then stops, but yeah, as you go and take a look in the area, you don't see anything immediately. Do you want to make an investigation check?
Sure.
You can see there is a trail here through the long grass. A small creature, perhaps a goat or a wolf. It's really difficult to tell. You can literally just see the line in the grass where it's being compressed by some creature moving through it.
He's just going to assume it's something relatively harmless and go back to the camp.
Alright, cool. The rest of your watch goes ahead without any major issues. And the time is coming now for nygenna to take her watch. What do you want to do? Apparently nothing. Nygenna, your watch begins. Do you want to make a perception check for me? Not bad. So we're getting into the early hours of the morning for your watch. And off in the distance you can hear wolves howling. You also hear the hoots of owls, various other creatures. But nothing comes close to the camp. You don't come across any unusual activity. It's actually very peaceful. The Uruk as well seems to have sort of gone down to its knees and settled close by. Still distant from you guys, but looks as though it's sticking around. The 4 hours of your watch come to an end, and Leana wakes after about an hour and a little bit. So you guys have some time together if you choose to roleplay, that's up to you guys. Otherwise we can move straight on to Leana's watch.
So maybe it's best if the first stroke of light comes, you wake up, move on to catch those who get lost.
Sounds like a good idea. As long as it's light enough to be off.
Oh well, I'm just
I will do.
Okay, and then you get some more sleep yourself, do you? Okay, Leana, do you want to make a perception check for your watch? 8.
Can I use my 15? Because otherwise I'm going to waste the rolls.
15.
My 2 rolls.
You had a 19 and a 5.
Oh, well, 19.
You can indeed, which would put it to a 23. It's very, very quiet now. And about an hour into your watch, we are in the very last waning hours of the night. And up on the horizon, you can see the sun beginning to rise. You see a large winged creature fly over in the very far distance. If it wasn't for the rising sun, you wouldn't have seen it as it's silhouetted across the skies. It's impossible to ascertain the size of this creature, the distance that you are. It's many miles away. It seems to circle around, and you look at it, and it seems quite majestic. It circles the sky for a few moments before landing somewhere far off to the north. But other than that, there is very little that you notice and see. The Uruk is still there. It's woken up, it's had a massive piss, and it's gone to eat some more grass. Do you want to do anything else with your time before you begin to wake the others?
No.
Okay. So do you wake the others, or do you wait for them to wake up yourself? What's going on?
Sort of when I know we'll all be resting, I'll wait them if they're not already awake.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, it's getting to sort of 4.5, 5 hours since nygenna got her head down, but Lost has had the best part of 12 hours nearly. No, that's not much. Okay. So we're going to say that by the time the creature has disappeared, Lost awakes. Is there anything that you want to do before the others wake up?
Nothing special at the moment. Got anything on your mind?
Just saw something flying in the sky. Is it the direction we're heading in?
No. Well, yes, but it was. Yeah, it was.
Direction we're going in. Something winged was circling.
Well, like a bird.
Well, it was too far away to see, really. But to see it from here, it must have been quite big.
Any idea what it could have been?
Would I have had any idea?
Almost impossible to identify, but I'm going to say make a history check, and if you've maybe read a piece of lore about this particular creature to recognise its behaviours, but I'm not going to lie, this is a long shot. No, you've never heard of it. It's just another one of the mysteries of the world.
Keep an eye out, maybe I'll say it's gone.
Maybe just be aware that there's something out there.
There's always something.
Plays X-Files theme tune.
Well, you can see him on that. There's always someone.
Hey, nygenna, are you gonna give this guy, this here orc, a name? We're gonna call this thing this little lady a thing, a name?
Yeah,
Sorry.
Maybe she should be called Mildred.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Mildred the Uruk.
Yes.
Skattles is going to basically create a little name badge for it using his wood carving skills.
Okay. There's plenty of wood around. But do you want to make a? Do you have woodcarver's tools, or do you, I think we agreed that you just
I
use
do.
your claws. But
I have
it
woodcarved
does
tools
have
as
the
well.
tools as well. Okay, make a roll on the tools then, using dexterity as your ability modifier.
Oh, how do you do that?
It should already be set, but if it pops up with a query, just choose dexterity.
Oh, doesn't let me actually. Hold on. Doesn't let me actually use it. Hold on.
Let's take a look at Skattles. Let's take a... Yep, it's because it's got the query right there, so we have to set that as dexterity. I can do that for you.
Nice.
Okay, you should be able to roll it now. Click on the name, the woodcarver's tool. There we go.
Hey!
Hey, it's a natural 1.
It says Martin.
It's it does. Yeah, let's go with that. Martin, you make a shoddy-looking name disc that says Martin.
And then he sort of hooks it around its ear. Here we go, Mildred. Your own name badge.
Okay. And the next day is upon you. Do you guys want to do anything special other than eating your breakfast and setting up?
While we're eating breakfast, the ant sort of looks towards Lost and nygenna. So you know them cards we picked up?
Yes, we are.
Curiosity's getting the better of me.
Well, you don't entirely know what that deck does, do you?
But that's what mystery is.
How many
And
are
we
in
won't
this?
know until we look.
Well, you'll say mystery, but the way it sounds like a gamble.
Maybe we could take a couple of each.
You're potentially gambling with your soul.
Would you like to take a couple each?
What it says, right?
That I don't really know anything about this. What have you picked up?
Well, see, we found this deck of cards, and I think it might be the deck of many things.
Will I know anything about that in character?
It's unlikely, but let's have either a history check or an arcana check. Whichever
Ooh.
you are stronger with.
That'll be history.
Oh, a 19. You've heard about these things. The deck of many things are incredibly powerful magical items, and you draw cards, and these cards can do amazing things, but they can also be amazingly dangerous things. You've heard tales in taverns throughout the world, or wherever you've travelled, about these cards, and they can make a man's destiny, or they can make him dead.
Skattles is going to butt in and say, look, if you're going to take these things in any way, shape, or form, you take them one by one. And also, I've heard stories about this ruining people's lives, but also making people's lives better. So you gotta make sure you know what you're doing.
The good with the bad.
Well, absolutely.
Balance.
Kind of like, yeah, you know, the balance of the world
They're not
and all
just
that.
life, you take the good with the bad.
Yeah, but the good is extreme and the bad is extreme. Like, you could...
I hold my hand out and I ask for some cards.
Okay. How many cards would you like to draw?
If you believe in fight,
How many are in this then?
I didn't actually think he was going to do this today, and I haven't got my book ready, so let me just grab my book.
should we take a break? It's a bit of a cliffhanger.
Yeah, it's the
Okay.
perfect cliffhanger. People might come back.
Got to
Okay,
come back now,
we're going to
find
take a
out
5-minute break, whilst I grab my Dungeon Master's Guide, because I didn't even try to memorise the deck of many things. So yeah, 5 minutes,
We
guys.
have props, don't we?
We do have props on screen. We have props.
Oh, right. I thought-
Yeah. But yeah. So if you guys would like to find out what happens when a group of half-informed imbeciles play with the deck of many things, come back in 5 minutes.
Even when they're pre-warned by a cat.
Okay. all back. Hello, we're back. Exciting times.
Hi.
Very exciting.
Possibly. There's the camera. The camera didn't work for some reason. But now it is working. Everything's good. Alright, so let's pick up where we left off. Nygenna had said that she wants some cards. Nygenna, how many cards do you want?
Skattles, do you fancy your chances?
No, I'm good. I've heard of this thing. I'd rather stay where I am right now.
It's a good game that we're playing. We have to match the cards to each other.
You know what? You do what you want to do, and I'll
I'll
sit here and enjoy myself.
I'm gonna ask her, like, what are these? Do you know and what do you want done with them?
Make a
You
religion
want-
check.
Oh, you're asking the lady. Ooh.
10.
It could be worse.
She's gonna tell
It's
you.
usually worse.
She's gonna tell you to play along.
The campfire blows out. The smoke rises. And normally the smoke, you would expect it to go in sort of a sliver, left to right, as the heat from the fire that has knocked it out causes the smoke to move side to side. This moves in a straight line, otherworldly straight, and the smoke rises straight up.
Do we see it?
Everybody sees this, but
Do you also
only Lost notices that this is a response to his question.
Yes.
moving
It's just
straight.
smoke going normally up.
Usually only I can see these things. I asked my lady what it was that we were toying with. What she wanted doing with it. I don't know what the answer means, but usually with her it's not good. You are more wise into the world than me.
And I just like drop our cards out.
4?
I do.
Fucking hell! Alright, let's
Fucking go.
We're playing a game here.
Yeah.
do these
We-
one at a time.
Me and Leana are
Skattles
playing a
walks
game.
by
She's drawing
4
4
miles
as well.
We're pulling 4 each, one after each other.
The first card that you pull
Ugh.
is the Flames card. So as you pull this card out and hold it in your hand, and you can see the image in front of you is of some sort of beast, man, a demon covered in flames. And as you feel it in your hands and you hear the word within your head, flames, the card burns away. I want you to right click on that card and select take card.
I'm glad I'm not playing this game.
Now to draw your second card.
No, it's Leana to draw one. We're playing a game.
Oh right, you're playing a game like
Yeah.
that here.
Yeah.
Leana,
So we're gonna see if we get a pair.
your next card that is drawn for you. Jesus Christ. You hear a voice in your head. It says your name. I need you to make... I want you to try and guess who this name is. And the way that I'm going to ask you to do that is with either a perception to understand and hear the name, or a history to, in the moment, try to remember it. You may choose whichever is stronger. And this is your name that is being spoken by a voice that is somewhat familiar to you.
That's Dumbledore.
60.
16. The name is spoken with an elven accent. Please right click on that card and choose take.
Smart.
Just actually.
Okay. And do you take your card?
Me? No.
No? Who's taking the next card? You
Me.
drew 4. Okay. The next card. Ooh.
Familiar?
Jesus Christ. As you hold this card in your arm, in your hand, and you see this image of this Medusa with the bow. The snakes on the Medusa's head, they start to move. The Medusa, the image on the card, draws a bow, turns towards you and fires it straight into your face, and the tiny arrow hits you and knocks you to the ground, and the card disappears. Please right-click that card and put take. You have been cursed by a Medusa. You take a -2 penalty on all saving throws.
Yeah, the test would have been a bit better than that,
I'm sorry, are you taunting the Medusa?
That's nothing. I said better than that.
Where's the saving throw? There it is. Could have just put that on global, couldn't I? There is one more card to be drawn, Leana.
Look,
I thought we were doing 4 each.
I don't know what's going on here, but I mean,
You could do 4 each if you want.
I can take one if out of this 4, you know, like.
No, Skattles, it's okay.
This one is Leana's.
Okay.
Does this mean we've used these?
Yeah, you've used these, yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
Can these cards, like, thingy one another? Like, cut out one another?
Yeah, some of them can. You draw the card. You see the blind woman holding the scales. And as you hold the card in your hand, it feels hot, very hot. It starts to heat your hand up. The heat passes through your hand and goes straight to your heart. And as you feel the pain in your heart, like some intense heartburn, all of a sudden, choices that you've made in the past start to echo through your mind. You start to have regret, and you promise yourself that you will never be that chaotic in the future. Right click
And she takes
that cam.
And she takes card from the deck of many things.
Yep. Your alignment is changed.
Ooh.
To lawful neutral.
Ooh.
You are expected to roleplay that well. Or as a cruel DM, I will put sanctions upon you. So, you're drawing 4 cards each.
Yeah!
Okay. Nygenna, let's see what your 4th card is.
Cards out.
You guys are a nightmare.
You really are. I mean, if you're going to do it. The moon card appears in front of you. In the early morning sun, you look up and you see the moon still shining about bright in the sky. It's full. It comes down upon you and you feel yourself. You feel yourself rolling a 1d3. No, there's no d3. You need to roll 1d3. 1d3.
Well, yeah. But I mean, physical dice. That's it.
Somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah, that's terrible. That's right, press enter. 3. Oh, well, isn't that great? As the moon looks down upon you, I need to double check to remember the name. You hear a female's voice. You all hear a female's voice.
Oh my god. I could totally go to the grocery store like this because my mouth is going. Someone looked at me weird and I'd be like,
I'm sorry. Hold on.
What is that?
Is that what the female said? I could totally go to the
grocery store.
Stop.
What is that?
The female voice.
It's not.
What was that?
Okay.
You know what? I was going through WhatsApp and someone's video came up.
All
And
right.
it just started playing the voice, and I literally couldn't stop it. I had to restart my phone to stop the voice.
Man, you're ruining the mood. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Carry on.
A female voice appears that you all hear. It shines down. It's light. It's calming. And it says to you, nygenna, name your 3 wishes, and I will make them so.
Oh.
Please right-click the card and add it to your
When do I make these
inventory. Whenever you want,
Oh.
Can I take them now?
if you want to. Or do you want to finish drawing cards?
I'll finish drawing my last card. No, yeah, but
Okay, so the 3rd card for Leana. It is the sun.
we nearly got matching ones.
I know,
The
sun and the moon.
Oh.
Nearly a match.
And I put my hand up for a high five because we nearly got close.
As you put your hand up for a high 5, Leana, do you high 5 in? Still holding the sun card in one hand, you high 5 nygenna. The minute that you do, light shines out of the high 5, and the sun seems to become brighter, immense. The card disappears, and all of a sudden, within a second, you see ahead the next year of your life. It happens in an instant like that, and you are experienced as a result. You gain 50,000 XP and a wondrous item that I will determine shortly.
Ooh.
That 50,000 XP, because we're milestone in, that's 4 levels. So you go to level 10.
Fuck!
nygenna, your last card.
Yeah.
Please right click and take that card.
I will do.
No,
that's
sorry,
not me.
that's your card.
Come on.
Oh dear.
Ooh!
That one I do know.
The void opens up in front of you. This isn't good. Let me finish reading this.
Got 3 wishes.
Oh, okay. This is cool. I'm so going to use this, definitely. Okay, as you draw this card, it starts to flap in your hand, being pulled away, and you grip it as hard as you can, but eventually it's sucked out of your hands, and a huge whirlpool, a black whirlpool, appears in front of you. And as it does so, it starts to suck your very essence. Out of your hands, you can see something visible yet not visible being pulled from your body as your soul is being torn out of your physical body. These are your last moments, nygenna. Use them wisely. A voice appears, a hand comes forward, and a voice appears. Your soul is fine. And as the hand comes out, it's a woman's hand that Lost instantly recognises.
Oh, we all see this?
You all see this.
Can I use my 3 wishes?
Feel free, go ahead.
I wish that
Can
my
I stop
soul
it?
destroyed this woman in the void.
And you hear the same voice you heard previously. That is beyond my power. You have 2 wishes.
Do I strike?
That's beyond my.
If she's chosen him.
It's a wish. It should be loud.
You used your spell, and the hand continues to grow in size. It's almost as big as you now, and it grips your body. And as the fingers move through, your soul is ripped apart. And as your soul is being dragged away from you, go ahead.
I wish this card vanished out the deck and out of my hands.
It vanishes. It's gone out your hand. The hand continues pulling your soul away from your body. You have just moments left. What do you wish to do?
Bum, bum, bum.
I wish my last and final wish is I release my body and I release like my levels to my characters and I go with it.
Which level for your characters?
Yes.
Define that a little further for me.
Like
Do it in character. Remember, characters don't know what levels are. That's just a mechanic we put in place so we understand how good they are. It's knowledge. That's what levels are. Yeah, knowledge and wisdom. You're almost out of time. You're being sucked into the void. It's closing.
I
Now.
gave Lost like my knowledge of like fighting like a berserker.
Okay. And
Yeah.
Lost, you start to gain the memories of nygenna. And as you are being sucked into the void, and then it closes down around you, as it's doing so, the body of nygenna just falls to the floor. The void disappears, the world is quiet. Lost. You now understand how to take and use all of nygenna's weapons. Furthermore, man, a fucking wish spell is so ridiculous.
You weren't expecting that. I mean, with Dave, expect the unexpected.
I mean, yeah, definitely. And the most of the time, I'm happy to just like forego the roll and say, no, I can choose this. But I'm having to roll for this one, and the roll's pretty good. So I'm gonna land on it so that you gain 1 level in barbarian.
Do I actually get his memories?
You actually get his memories.
You've got some memories.
Dave, can you right-click the void and add it to your collection? And there is 1 more card to draw. The star.
Only she has the right to decide what happens to your soul.
You draw the star card. And
Sun, the moon, and the star.
yeah. And you hold the card in your hands, and you feel yourself. You feel yourself transcending the current moment. Like an out-of-body experience, you are looking down upon you, and in that moment, you know everything. And you can now choose what knowledge to take back. You know, because you know everything, that any moment now, you're going to re-enter your body, and there is only so much knowledge that you can take with you. You get to choose what that knowledge is.
Knowledge of what?
You can increase any ability score by 2 points. Which one do you choose?
Let me just remind myself of what they are.
Ability scores, yeah.
So like deception, athletic.
No, those are skills like
Constitution, dexterity, intelligence, etc.
For example,
I
if you
want
was
to increase my intelligence.
you gather amongst you all of the magical knowledge that you can, and you focus and you commit that to memory and re-enter your body just that much more intelligent. You're not dead.
Your soul's just been dead.
You are soulless. You can no longer control your character.
Do I need to take that card?
You need to take that card.
Well, I did warn her that, you know, the worst case was that your soul could get taken.
Yeah.
Well, that's our box.
It's not a game you take lightly.
What was that, Jane?
Did the rest of us know who that person was that took it?
All you saw was a hand and heard a voice. The only person that recognised the voice was Lost. Everybody saw the void, they saw the hand.
Am
Does
I
anyone
walking
know where
alongside
his soul's gone then?
Am I walking alongside the rock?
So for you, what you can see right now, I would like more time to plan this. But I'm gonna say, actually, know what? I know where you've got. All that you can see right now is because you are a soul, literally trapped within a small amulet. It's a diamond that is wrapped in silver and attached to a silver necklace, and you hang around a pole or some sort of hanging outcrop in a stone room. It's almost completely dark. There's no natural light. The only light that you can see is a purple sort of glow that comes from a pool ahead of you that is about 3 feet in diameter, so about 6 feet wide. There's steps that lead down to the pool, and you are up on this wall or something. That's all that you can see. Your body is no longer usable, and your character is all but dead unless your soul can be freed.
Ooh.
You can play your soul, but you're not going nowhere.
Everyone seems to have trouble with the souls disappearing when they play with me.
I'm like, day 28. In this purple room.
Day 42 in the Big Brother house.
Last few things I know. The one thing I think I know that when you die, she carries your soul away. So your job is what you sees fit, try and escape death, or to aid in the deeds of undead. It's the most awful of sins.
Yeah, but your soul is normally supposed to go as and when you're ready, not like the point where you pick up a flippin' card.
Well, I don't think she was left with much of a choice.
Oh, I mean, I don't deny that, but like, this is unnatural.
What happens to the rest of the deck? Is it still there or is it gone?
Still
I think you should put that away.
I think it should be destroyed.
I completely agree.
Who knows what damage has been done already.
But if you
There are
think,
6 cards left.
if who took
Draw
the
that.
nygenna's soul,
You're only saying that because you're dead.
if you think
I
the
need another
person who
soul to
took
come in there.
nygenna's soul was your lady, then she might not be happy if we destroyed the rest of them.
So it doesn't seem happy that, her flame was on neither.
Am I with these
And
lads?
she seemed also happy to take souls away. I'm just saying these are the forces you're dealing with. How do you feel, by the way?
I feel like I know a lot more than normal.
One question,
just-
if I wished, why couldn't I wish to destroy the person that was taking my soul?
So,
How was it too far? If he grants wishes, right?
that's a
So
valid question.
why would he grant a wish if he couldn't really, like, thingy is part of the wish?
It's a valid question, and I'll
Yeah.
answer it by quoting from the book.
Okay. Because this really
The
makes
void.
sense.
This black card spells disaster. Your soul is drawn from your body and contained in an object in the place of the DM's choice. One or more powerful beings guard the place. Whilst your soul is trapped in this way, your body is incapacitated. A wish spell can't restore your soul, but the spell reveals the location of the object it holds. You draw no more cards.
Oh.
Well, you used your wish, and it's a little bit ambiguous as to exactly what that means. What it did say is a wish spell can't restore your soul, but it doesn't say any other conditions, but the spell reveals the location of the object that holds it. So, spoilers! Lost has inherited your memories, and in the morning, after processing them, will know the location of your soul.
So really, I actually did it right then, didn't I?
Yeah, you did the right thing. You were quite lucky to pull them in that order.
That was like really, wow.
So,
Alright,
you know when I originally found the deck of many things,
Yes.
and I was aware of the deck of many things, and I knew that you could get the wonders, but you could also get such as the soul being taken away. Did I know any more about it?
Any more such as what?
Like, do I know if that's the worst case?
No. You don't know the answer. Are you trying to play with the rest of the cards?
No, I'm trying to play with my new alignment.
You lawful alignment.
You got any
That'd be a new
NPCs
one
I
to
can play
use.
for the duration? be the cow thing.
The York.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. What's your name? Amazing.
A miserable sin in this field.
She's quite happy, actually. She
Oh,
likes you.
I'm a happy-go-lucky girl.
Do you want to pull any cards?
Yeah, she does. I like it.
Martin
Martin.
the Orc. What
Okay,
a new
guys,
character that would be.
Have the morning.
Put them back in the box. Back in the pocket.
Okay. The other cards that have been drawn have been destroyed. We've put them in your inventories so that we can see them. So that if we need to refer back to them, we know that where they are and what happened to them. But they did, after having their effect, they vanished.
So, just to recap what I just experienced then. Nothing else with that voice. I just know it was an elven voice.
You know it was an elven voice. Yeah, that's all you know.
But that
And
was not. But
I
there
say an elven voice because you know that elves come from Nirvana, and you know that elves in Nirvana, you have the Nirvana accent, which I portray as the French accent.
So, but apart from that, I didn't get any feeling of anything else. Just voice.
That's right.
Balance changed my alignment.
It changed your alignment to lawful, neutral.
And then the sun's given me the extra experience.
You've seen a year into the future in a moment, far too quick to interpret, but nevertheless you feel as though you have those memories.
So it'll be like deja vu.
It'd be like deja vu, yeah.
But with extra levels.
And then the star.
Increased your knowledge, your intelligence.
So all things going, you did pretty well out of that.
Like me to,
You got all the good.
Another
In
player
comparison.
lost the soul
Yeah.
compared to me again.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
want to, yeah.
I did warn you to lose your soul, and you are playing with me. So
He's not there! You can't roleplay with him!
No, this is how
She's just laid on the floor, drooling.
She's talking to his corpse, yeah.
So what do you think we should do with nygenna's body?
Well, just a husk. She has no soul. I say just kill it.
Wait.
Is she not already dead?
In my opinion, she has no
Um,
soul. So what kills the body?
I'm gonna try and check for a pulse.
She has a pulse.
This body, this what you call as a vessel, is still alive. We need to take her with us, and if we can find what's left of her, then maybe we can get her back. I know, Lost, that you feel this way, but this is still a living being right now.
Do we even know where to look for what's missing over there?
You have vague
Yeah.
memories of what happened to her. Literally the last 3 seconds of her life.
Am I fully aware of like what happened? Like, that's her taking the soul.
I'm going to say yeah. I'm going to say intrinsically, yeah, you know what happened.
What is a life without the soul? What can you do without your body's essence and spirit? It's who we are. Otherwise, we'll not.
I just want to check, though. I mean, like, at the moment we're going after someone in your group called Mozu, who you don't know what's happening with them. Is this not the same in one way, shape, or form? Like, should you not try and keep this
They don't know.
living creature, though this living husk, as you call it, to try and make that person better, or like souls can? I guess souls can be restored. I don't know. I'm just tabaxi, you know.
In honesty, if she's decided to take his soul away, her soul away, then who am I to say no to her? Who are any of us to say no to her?
I mean, I don't believe.
You're asking to defy the will of a god.
Not my god, though. I don't.
No, but the god nonetheless, and a god with tremendous power.
But what difference does it make that we take
what you call this husk with us, or keep it where we left her. Like,
Can I cast my sense?
Yeah.
Does she register as a...
She does not. She still registers. Well, she doesn't register on your divine sense.
I call her a husk because I don't know what she is. She's not what she was, and she's not undead. I think it would perhaps be kinder to learn what the fuck is going for. But
perhaps if you are gonna leave her anywhere, maybe somewhere more peaceful than this.
well, I was going to say, if we were to leave her, how can she fend for herself? How can she feed herself?
Well, I don't know. I've never worked in this kind of situation.
If we leave now, she would lie here, would probably starve, or eat,
True.
if she's even there.
Then maybe we should strap her onto this newfound friend of ours and make our way, continue on.
No, that's what you wish. I want to
Hey,
find a
she's
little party.
hey, she's your friend. Like, I'm just, I'm just trying to help. I'm just trying to,
No, but I want
do what I
them.
can.
I want them not to trifle with the cards. My lady took her soul away. So maybe she got what she deserved. You do as you wish.
Yeah, he's gonna strap her on as much as he can.
I'm sorry, what are you going to do?
Well, it's gonna strap nygenna onto the Uruk.
Okay. Not too difficult. nygenna did have some rope with her, some hemp rope, so it's quite easy really to attach her to the Uruk. No roll required for that one. But nygenna's limp body has been attached to the Uruk.
And I'm just kind of, I guess, trying to console the Uruk as well, as if to say, your master's gone, but we will continue to look after you.
Okay.
Do you want me to do like an animal handling check or something?
No. The role play in the last sort of 10 minutes has been fantastic, so I'm just allowing that to happen.
Okay.
I'm going to check, because if not, I will be so frustrated. Oh yeah, it's okay, we are not muted.
Imagine that. 8 pulls, nothing. Okay.
Should we press on?
Might be a good idea.
Yeah.
Sure you're okay?
Yeah, I just feel a bit strange.
I'm going to allow the two of you the rest of the day, as you are now, whilst your mind processes the massive changes that you've both gone through from the next morning. Your lives will change so soon.
Skattles is just trying to keep this Uruk going.
Yeah, do you all climb on the Uruk?
I'll walk alongside. If there's any other questions about find this sort of style, happy to answer to the best of my knowledge. If you have any other curiosity about what happens to your soul.
You think there's no chance of getting us all back? You think that's it gone now forever?
That's right.
I feel
Yep, that's right.
if she chose to take it away, that would be a grave insult to drag it back.
Dave's just rolling up his next character.
Like it's nothing. In the middle of the stream.
I'm okay with it.
I like it.
We knew there was the risk that your soul could be taken. It's interesting it was your god there that take it.
What she does, I think.
You think?
I think. still has, like, Connor thinks as well. He doesn't.
Connor's going to love the story I've got written out.
Wow. It's Nygenna's backstory.
So, sorry, Leana, did you climb on the Uruk?
No, she passed the lost for a bit.
Who's leading the way?
Me now.
Okay, let's have a survival check. Yeah, we don't care about that. Okay. Takes you a little while to sort of catch your bearings, but you take your time and you're slow about it, but you're slow and concise. You're fairly confident you're travelling in the right direction, and you guys set off. Skattles, are you on the Uruk?
I am.
Okay. Can you make an animal handling check to try and get what's the name of it? Martin. To go in the
Give me
same
Martin now.
direction as the rest of the party, please. Oh, well done.
Okay.
Yeah, you seem to have been paying close attention to nygenna, and with a couple of kicks, the Uruk named Martin starts to head off with the rest of the party, travelling just behind nygenna. Lost and Leana. Okay.
All right.
So, once again, how long are you guys travelling for before you decide to take your break?
Again, another good 5.5 hours, I'd imagine.
So you've set up a little bit earlier this time because you don't have to gather things, wait for lots to come back from the woods, etc. So it's literally just over lunchtime by the time that you guys stop. And during that time, you have made it out of the forest, and you're now into the plains. So this is long prairies, large rolling hills, very gentle, and the grass here grows a little longer than what you've seen in the forest. So there is no trails here. You are travelling through grass that is very low, about 3.5 feet. So if you guys are stood in it, this grass reaches well past your waist.
Can I retcon it slightly that I've picked up a few really good bits of wood from the forest as we've gone through, like fallen wood?
I'm totally okay with that. Yeah. Is this for Skattles to play with?
This is 100%.
Totally happy for that. Yeah.
Okay. That's it.
So these hills, these rolling hills, you guys can choose to stop at the top of the hill, in a valley, or somewhere in between. It would be quite easy to navigate your way around this and make sure you stop at the right time. So what would you prefer to do?
I think on top of the hill, it's harder to be ambushed than inside of the valley. And it maybe give us a good eyesight. Maybe even blind the eyes on our target.
Well, we'll pray to the weather gods at least whilst we're up here. But yeah, sure.
It is quite a clear day, as the last few days that you've seen. There's a bit more cloud around today, but when the clouds move, the sun is very hot.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so you guys stopping at the top of the hill. You get yourself some food. There's lots of grass here, so Martin's very happy and just pulls off what he needs as he's been walking. As you guys get down, do you leave nygenna strapped to Martin? Or do you get nygenna off Martin during this time?
I think the Skattles would almost treat nygenna as if she was still here, in respect of if we're going to sleep, keeping her sort of warm whilst we do that, okay, rather than necessarily keeping her aimlessly strapped to a Uruk.
Okay. So yeah, you pull nygenna's lifeless body off and sit it down.
So she just all floppy.
Yep.
Hello, Mr. Dad.
Her eyes are open. Do you remember when Drogo was reborn on Game of Thrones? He's like that. Or she's like that.
Lovely.
Okay. How long are you stopping for? About an hour?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's easily done. I don't think you need any rolls from this. It's quite wide and open. Your passive perception, you can see that it's quite clear. There's nothing around. And as far as you can see, you can't see any settlements, ruins or otherwise.
Can I try and gauge where we are?
Yeah, certainly. So make a survival check for me, please. That's a pretty good roll. I'm going to say, yeah, quite accurately that you guys are just on top of this hill right here.
So, I think we're over here. So, we're on the right track and we're not too far away, I think. Hopefully by the time we make it to the next hills, we should be able to see where she resides. Can we make out the next hills?
Yeah, you can see the next hills. These hills are quite wide, very, very, very wide. So you can't see past them, but you can see the hills ahead.
Do they look like we can make it there within tonight?
No, they're way off in the distance. You might make it to the valley, maybe sort of halfway within the rest of this day, but you're still looking at another day's walk, maybe a day and a half before you reach past to those hills.
They are quite flat valleys, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it can be somehow.
No, they're very wide valleys.
Is everyone ready to press on? We could maybe make it halfway to those hills before nightfall.
Hey, no harm. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
What's the deal?
Okay.
Skattles straps nygenna back on.
No problem, easily done.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys on foot again, you two?
I'm going to sit on the...
Martin.
Yeah, on Martin.
No.
I love how I've wonderfully sexed the creature, yet still calling him Martin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's important.
Okay, so you guys travel on quite a while. Now with two of you, 2.5 of you, on the back of Martin, it makes good time. Not travelling a lot faster than you guys, but it's still a little bit easier on the feet. And by the time night falls and the sun has set, and you would normally stop, you guys do feel that you've got a little bit more energy in you. Maybe you could travel a little bit further, but it is your choice. Do you want to carry on, or do you want to stay where you are? You would risk exhaustion if you decide to carry on.
Yeah, we'd probably stick rather than continuing on.
We could make it to the top of those hills by midday tomorrow.
Yeah, it looks as though you've got maybe another 6 hours worth of travelling before you make it to the top of those hills.
I think if we make it to the top of those hills in the daylight, we should have a good idea of where to go from there. We'll have an idea of what lies in front of us, and we've got it quite in shape now that we lost a member.
I'll take your lead, man. That's fine.
We'll get a better view from them hills in the daylight.
So that's the other tonight.
Yeah.
I go.
Okay.
That'll camp for the night.
So it's quite level where you guys are now. It's a little bit up and down. It's not perfect level, but you're certainly away from the larger hills, and you can see for quite a far way away around you guys. There's quite a large tree close by. Some rocks, and then other than that, it's really sort of flat open land. So it's up to you guys. Do you want to be more in the flat open land, or do you want to be closer to the rocks or the tree? It's a very large tree.
What looks suggested.
Whatever look like the best camping ground, to be honest.
Okay. Well, if there was a strong wind to come in, that could, potentially cool you down, maybe even threaten your health. The rocks would offer shelter. The tree is very large. The branches are very full, so that would offer protection from the rain. So it's really down to personal choice. Whereas in the open land you can see further.
I'm going to the rocks.
Yeah, the rocks.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, so you guys need to cover 8 hours worth of rest. So who's gonna take watch?
I'll take 3 hours.
Well, before you do, I've noticed you don't sleep as long as we do you?
No, I rest for 4 hours and then I can sort of read or walk.
Well, I mean, it seems a little unfair for us to take 2-hour watches and then for you to take 4. But how do you feel about that?
I'll be awake anyway.
We are close to time if you see anything on video. So, I think just 2-hour watches between me and you, Skattles. Is everyone okay with that?
Yeah, I'm alright with that, sure.
Okay.
Who's going first?
I'll take the first one again.
Okay, let's have a perception check. Let's see what you see. 11. There is a lot of noise coming from the area around you. Now, you guys have just walked through this quite long grass. We can do that as well.
No, we'll do it when he's have the bombshell revelation that he's going to wake up with.
Yeah, so the area around you guys, you've travelled through this long grass. You know the noise it makes as you move through it. You can hear that. You can hear that noise. Something, someone, somebody, whether it's a group or an individual, you're not sure. Whether it's humanoid or creature, you're not sure. But something is moving around in the long grass, just beyond your vision, and your just marginally beyond your senses as well.
Can I see any like shadows? Do they seem to be bigger creatures, smaller creatures?
You can't quite make out. Every time you look in the direction that you hear something moving, you can just see the grass moving side to side. You can't actually see what made it move.
Okay. I'm going to pre-warn whoever's next on watch about it. So I'd probably say to Lost if it's Lost that's going to be doing it. The grass is moving. There seems to be something there, but I can't see what it is. No idea. But keep an eye out.
Well, I think it's unusual for just one creature to be out here. Like, most creatures I can think of, be it wolves or like this creature here, Martin, things often travel in packs. Has anyone else seen anything, like over the past few months?
No, I saw like what it could have been like a goat or a wolf or something like that.
Well, did you see a goat or a wolf?
Neither. I just could tell it was like a medium size kind of thing, like a grazing creature.
So different from what you saw tonight.
Well, I couldn't see much tonight. I could just see movement in the grass.
Just point out to me what.
Just over like there.
About 80 feet, maybe a little more.
Okay. Thank you for letting me know. I'm trying to get some rest.
Thank you.
I'll maybe go 30, 40 feet out. It's all long grass.
It's all very long grass.
I'm just going to stand there for a while and just watch the area. But also, every now and again,
Are you attempting to hide?
No, I have disadvantage that still.
So make a perception check then, with disadvantage in this rather bleak darkness. Should have been the same for Skattles, but we've moved on past that. You can see something. It's thin, not very tall, moving through the grass. No, it's moving around, back and forth ahead of you, purposely avoiding you in particular, and as it moves further around, purposely keeping away from the camp. Maybe 4 foot tall, literally just a foot above the grass, and not very wide at all, maybe this wide.
Dark out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go to where I think it may have been. I'll basically just look for any tracks. If need be, I'll light up a torch.
Okay, well it is dark, so you will be at disadvantage if you try to look for tracks without lighting.
I'll light up a torch.
Okay, so yeah, let's have a roll, straight up roll for perception to find tracks. Okay, so as you move further out to where you think this, whatever it was, has moved, the grass is being compressed and it's very wide. It's about this wide, so it's about sort of 5.5, maybe even 6 feet wide, where it's being compressed. And it moves around, and there's lots of different trails that go off in different directions about this wide. Make a survival check to try and understand what you can see on the actual ground. Looks like it was a multi-legged creature, but you're not quite sure if that means 2 legs or 7 or 8 or 9. You just can't make it out. What you can make out is it's not hooved. The depression into the ground is almost pointed.
Can I think of any? I'm the wrong person to ask, but can I think of any creature that we might be pointed for?
Okay, make a history check.
Can we make it a disadvantage, please?
No.
Dramatic.
A 14. There's lots of creatures. In particular, creatures that have sort of clubbed or spiked feet. Tends to be large insects, sometimes arachnids, spiders. Other creatures, though, less likely for this kind of area would include things like lobsters. They have kind of pointed feet, you remember. Scorpions.
They would all make sense.
Yeah, be able to use that to their advantage. Back that up with the nocturnal, the night. You know, these nocturnal hunters that might well move in the night.
I'll stake the torch in the ground, sort of maybe 20 feet from the camp. Go back, make sure the campfire is still alive.
Mm-hmm.
Wait till leana wakes up and then sort of pass on that information. Well, if it's something up, I would point its feet. I don't know how many legs, but left tracks. Keeping its distance, I think.
I'll watch out for it then.
It's often that way.
You do indeed. We'll come to those. Leana, would you like to make a perception check? An 8.
I
GG.
never rolled my D20 today.
You didn't know, but I will allow you to roll them now and we can see what happens.
All good.
Can I take the 9? Then at least I'll get a little bit more.
Yeah, that'll give you a 13 in total. Okay, so taking note of what Lost had told you and watching in that general direction, you also see these thin, about this, a foot wide things, just a foot above the grass, about 4 foot tall, moving through, and it's just a shadow you can see. You don't really see anything else, and you hear the noise for a couple of hours. By the time the sun starts to rise, they've long gone. There's nothing else of note, not really. And as the sun rises on the third day of you guys travelling, Lost, you wake having had a very strange dream. The memories that you come to recognise them as. Yeah, it's strange. You can remember things that you couldn't just a few days ago.
That's kind of normal.
But in these memories, you're nygenna. You're not you.
That's less normal.
So you do need to add a level onto your character sheet. 1 level of barbarian.
Or would be giving him a
As
bad
the result of a wish spell.
This day just got better.
What, because of the dog?
It's been a good day. I hope you've all enjoyed.
It has been good. Leana, you wake and you've seen this day before. This is a memory that you're reliving once again. You kind of feel like you know what's going to happen. I'm not going to tell you what that is, but you do feel as though you know what's going to happen.
Skattles wakes up perfectly normal.
Perfectly normal.
Nothing
with
weird's
his
happening
soul.
with Skattles.
It was the best choice I ever made.
Because I know what's going to happen next, this is a good point to end. So I know it's a little earlier than we normally finish. It's only been about 2.5 hours, less than 2.5
It's been
hours.
eventful though, we've done many things.
But we are going to need more time for the next event. So, yeah, so when we come back, Skattles will be perfectly normal. Leana will be at level 10. I know, right? I'm going to have so much fun with that, by the way, as a DM. nygenna will be a potato. And Lost will have a level in Barbarian. And I honestly can't wait to see how you decide to roleplay that.
nygenna's memories.
You are?
Would I be able to read and write Orcish?
Yeah, I'm gonna say you would. You've got memories. Yeah.
Class.
I have more of
That
your
is
memories
cool.
than my own.
Yeah, you definitely do.
It's got someone's memories at last.
But yeah, so thanks for watching.
Yeah, I certainly hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you very
Oh,
much.
it's been fun.
Yeah.
I definitely enjoyed today's session. Sorry about missing out last week. This happens. But we will be back next Friday again. Maybe even with an extra camera so you can see all of us. We'll see what happens. But yeah, so thanks again. Bye.
Bye.